What if I told you that scientists have already figured out how to extend human lifespan by 40%? That right now, in labs around the world, researchers are literally rewriting the genetic code of aging. And it's working? Here's the thing, though. There's a reason you haven't heard about this breakthrough on the evening news. And understanding why might be the most important longevity decision you make this year. I'm talking about gene therapy for aging. The results in animal studies are so dramatic they sound like science fiction. Mice living twice as long. Parts that work like they're decades younger. Cells that literally reverse their biological age. But here's what the headlines aren't telling you, and why that matters for your health strategy today. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this revolutionary technology isn't ready for people like us yet, and more importantly, you'll discover the surprising stopgap solution that's available right now. One that targets the exact same aging pathway these cutting-edge therapies are going after. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening in these research labs. Scientists take a mouse that's already middle-aged, think equivalent to a 50-year-old human, and they inject it with what looks like a simple shot. But this isn't any ordinary injection. It's carrying new genetic instructions, delivered by a specially engineered virus that doesn't make the mouse sick. Instead, this virus delivers a gene called TERT directly to the mouse's cells. And here's where it gets interesting. TERT helps maintain something called telomeres, those protective caps on our chromosomes that scientists have called the molecular clock of aging. The results? These mice don't just live longer. They live 24% longer with better heart function, stronger muscles, and fewer signs of age-related disease. It's like someone hit a biological reset button. But that's just one gene. Researchers aren't stopping there. They've identified what they call the hallmarks of aging, the fundamental processes that drive how we get old. Things like cellular senescence, where our cells stop working properly and start pumping out inflammatory signals. Mitochondrial dysfunction, where our cellular powerhouses start failing. Chronic inflammation that builds up over time. And here's the remarkable part. Gene therapy can potentially address all of these at once. But before I tell you about the most dramatic results they're seeing, we need to talk about why you can't walk into your doctor's office and ask for this treatment tomorrow. Actually, let me pause here for a second. Because what I'm about to share might change how you think about your current health routine. The results coming out of these labs are honestly mind-blowing. In one study, researchers used something called Yamanaka factors. These are genes that can reprogram cells back to a more youthful state. Mice treated with these factors lived 109% longer. That's more than double their normal remaining lifespan. Another approach targets senescent cells. Those are basically the zombie cells of aging. They've stopped doing their job but won't die off, and they make everything around them worse. Gene therapy designed to eliminate these cells has shown incredible results in reversing age-related diseases. There's even research on something called epigenetic reprogramming, where scientists can essentially reset the genetic switches in cells to make them behave like they're young again. We're talking about addressing aging at its root cause, not just treating the symptoms. But here's what's fascinating, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. There are currently 3 clinical trials testing one of these approaches in humans. 3 actual human studies looking at TERT gene therapy for aging, Alzheimer's disease, and critical limb ischemia. Want to know what the results show? Well, that's exactly the problem. And it reveals something crucial about where we really stand with this technology. Here's the reality check we need to have. No results from those human trials have been published yet. We're still completely in the dark about whether this works safely in people. And there are some very good reasons why scientists are being so cautious. First, there's what researchers call the immune system problem. Up to 80% of adults already have antibodies against the viruses commonly used to deliver gene therapy. Your immune system sees these therapeutic viruses as invaders and attacks them before they can do their job. It's like trying to sneak a Trojan horse past guards who've already seen that exact horse before. Then there's the targeting challenge. Getting gene therapy to go exactly where you want it in the human body is incredibly difficult. These treatments might work great in your liver but cause problems in your heart, or help your muscles but trigger unwanted effects in your brain. But here's the big one, the issue that keeps researchers up at night. Many of the genes that promote longevity also happen to be genes that cancer cells love to hijack. When you boost TERT activity to extend lifespan, you might also be giving any lurking cancer cells exactly what they need to grow faster. Think about it. You're trying to make cells more youthful and vigorous. Cancer cells are already too youthful and vigorous. It's a delicate balance that we haven't figured out how to manage safely yet. The researchers know this. They're working on solutions, better delivery systems, more precise targeting, ways to control exactly when and where these genes get turned on. But this level of safety engineering takes time. We're probably looking at another decade or more before gene therapy for aging becomes something your doctor might actually recommend. So where does that leave us? Actually, before I answer that, let me tell you about something that surprised me when I was researching this topic. It turns out we're not as powerless as you might think. Remember how I mentioned that gene therapy targets the hallmarks of aging? Well, one of those hallmarks, cellular senescence, is something we can actually address right now without waiting for gene therapy to become safe. Those senescent cells I mentioned earlier, the zombie cells that have stopped working but won't die off, they're a major driver of aging and age-related disease. They accumulate as we get older and pump out inflammatory signals that damage surrounding healthy tissue. The cutting-edge approach is to use something called CAR T-cell therapy, essentially programming your immune cells to hunt down and eliminate senescent cells. It's showing incredible promise in animal studies, with results that rival the gene therapy approaches. But again, we're years away from this being available and safe for widespread use. Here's what's interesting though. Nature has already given us compounds that can do something similar. They're called Senolytics, substances that can selectively eliminate senescent cells. And some of these are available right now. The most studied combination is quercetin and dasatinib. Studies in humans have shown this combination can reduce senescent cell burden and improve physical function in older adults. But here's what I find most compelling about this approach. Think of it this way. Gene therapy is like having a precision surgical robot that can identify and remove exactly the right cells with perfect accuracy. Senolytics are more like having a really skilled general practitioner who can identify the problem areas and address them effectively, even if not with surgical precision. The advantage of Senolytics is that we have human data on safety and efficacy right now. We don't have to wait for the next decade of research to start benefiting from this approach. Here's what this means practically. First, you can work with a knowledgeable healthcare provider to explore senolytic protocols. The quercetin-dasatinib combination I mentioned has been studied in clinical trials with promising results. Second, there's fisetin, another natural compound that's shown senolytic effects. In one study, older adults who took fisetin supplements for just 2 days showed reduced markers of senescence and inflammation for weeks afterward. Third, you can focus on lifestyle factors that reduce senescent cell accumulation. Regular exercise, stress management, and avoiding chronic inflammation all help keep these zombie cells from building up in the first place. Fourth, you can support the research that's happening. The faster we can solve the safety challenges with gene therapy, the sooner these powerful treatments become available to everyone. But here's the key insight I want you to take away from all of this. The future of longevity isn't about waiting for one breakthrough technology. It's about understanding the mechanisms of aging and using the best tools available at each point in time. Right now, that means evidence-based approaches like Senolytics, targeted lifestyle interventions, and staying informed about emerging research. In 10 years, it might mean safe, targeted gene therapies. In 20 years, it could be combination approaches we can't even imagine yet. I've been diving deep into the research on Senolytics and other longevity compounds that are available today, and I'll be sharing some specific protocols and dosing strategies in the description below. Be sure to check them out. Full disclosure, I may recommend products or services that I believe can help you implement these strategies safely and effectively. I may earn some money from these links at no cost to you. The goal isn't to wait for the perfect solution. It's to make the best decisions with the information and tools we have today. Gene therapy for aging represents one of the most exciting frontiers in medicine. The potential to directly address the root causes of aging at the genetic level could transform how we think about lifespan and healthspan. But like any powerful technology, it needs to be developed carefully and safely. The researchers working on this understand the stakes. They're not just trying to extend life, they're trying to extend healthy life without creating new problems. In the meantime, we're not powerless. We have tools that work on the same pathways these advanced therapies are targeting. We can take action today while the scientists perfect tomorrow's treatments. The promise I made at the beginning was to show you why gene therapy isn't ready yet and what you can do now. We've covered both. The choice of how to move forward is yours. But remember, every day you wait is a day your cells are aging. The best longevity strategy is the one you actually implement. Thank you for spending your time here. I'm grateful you're on this journey with me. Wishing you practical progress and good health. If you found this helpful, I've got more eye-opening research on longevity compounds that most people have never heard of. Click the video that just appeared on your screen to discover the next piece of the healthy aging puzzle.